My favourite bit is highlight, and it's here. Bloody hell, that was intense.
She just wants to be beautiful, she goes.
Hello beautiful humans and welcome back to my channel. I am again in a different setup. I just can't make up my mind. But that is because today I am going back to what I wanted this channel to be in the first place, and that is a beauty video, get ready with me goodness thing. Now, I should say, I'm not a beauty guru, I don't know beauty, I'm not a makeup artist, I don't know how to do makeup, but I love it. And I've had a few people asking me how I do my makeup with my cerebral palsy, and I thought, why not just get ready with you one day in a serious way, because I've done like parodies and I've never sat down and actually tried to do my makeup. So yeah, I thought that I would do that today, and I chose to do this easy, inspired, purpley fall look. As you can tell by my hands, got a little bit messy. I've got black everywhere. But, you know, that's what makeup's for, it's fun. So if you are interested in seeing how I got to this makeup look, then just keep on watching. I should say before I start this video that this is purely my way of doing makeup. And if you disagree with any of these methods, or you have ways that work with you better, then that's absolutely fine. You do you and do makeup how you want to do makeup. Because I've said a million times before, makeup is very individual and it's down to personal preference. Okie dokies, so we are here at my little makeup station. Brought me pee along because, you know, why not? And I am going to get on with my makeup. I'm going to do a very simple, easy, everyday makeup look that hopefully you can recreate at home and give you some tips on how to do your makeup. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is my Nivea Mens post-shave balm. I use this for my primer. I love it. It is amazing. I will link all the products down below so you can go check them out. But this is my go-to primer at the moment. It's not actually a primer. It's, as it says, a post-shave balm. However, I like it as a primer, and I think it's fabulous. So I'm going to put a bit of this on the back of my hand. You'll notice that I use the back of my hand a lot when I do my makeup. It's because I only have one functioning hand. So I can't do the classic putting it in both hands, rubbing it together, rubbing it on your face. As you can see, that don't really do much. So my first top tip for doing your makeup with cerebral palsy is the back of your hand is invaluable. It's like a palette. I mix on it. Always make sure that you've got it evenly into your skin. Usually with a primer you can feel that. I do have a bit of a technique to show you when it comes to my foundation, which I will show you in a minute. So now that's all rubbed in, I'm going to use my foundation, and the foundation that I like to use is the Kat Von D Lock It foundation. I'm in the shade Light 47 Neutral. Again, I just use the back of my hand and I pump one on. Now, not everyone with a disability is going to be able to pump. So if you've got fairly good hand function, but you're not very good at kind of controlling measurements, probably shouldn't be doing that with a foundation bowl. Sorry. Then I would suggest a pump action is really good. If you can't do that action, then why not try like a squeezy foundation and like a squeezy tube? I know Hourglass do a really good one. I'm pretty sure Maybelline do one as well. Then all you have to do is kind of that action, and I know for a lot of people with cerebral palsy, that action is quite natural, so that could be a really useful alternative. When it comes to application, I tend to use a brush, and the brush I use is the Morphe M439. It's just kind of this really dense kabuki type brush. I find it easier to grip. Like, I can't grip a beauty blender with my right hand, which is my affected hand, but with the handle you can kind of hold it however you want, and you can sort of just smush it across your face. So I'm just going to apply this. Now, this is a little technique I do. Obviously, when you have two hands, you can get stuff a lot more even across your face. So what I tend to do is, instead of putting it on the brush and then put it on my face, I dot it around my face like this, and I try and make sure I've got an even number each side. So I've got two here, so one on my cheek, one on my cheek, one slightly lower down, one slightly lower down, one on my chin, one on my nose, one on either side of my forehead, and then one in the middle of my forehead. And then if I have any left over, which I do here, I just kind of fill out the gaps. So one here, one here, one here, one here. But always trying to keep it even to both sides of my face. One of my eyelids, one of my eyelids. So then I know that when I blend it in, I've got a pretty much even distribution of foundation across my face. It's never going to be perfect, but I think it's easier than putting it on your brush and then doing that, because automatically you're going to end up with more on the side you naturally lean to. That is my technique. And then I just buffer it in. Do whatever hand function you can do to blend in your foundation. Okay, so now that's nice and all blended in, I take my concealer, which is the L.A Girl Pro Conceal, and this isn't a squeezy applicator, so let me just untwist this. I squeeze and the product comes out. I don't know how well you could see that, but that's how this one works. I find squeezy tubes pretty easy with my hand function. I can even hold it with my affected hand. You can get loads of other different types of concealers. You really have to figure out what works best for you. And I just put this under my eyes or anywhere I have blemishes or want a little bit more coverage. Now I've got to blend it in, and again you can blend it in any way that you like. I tend to blend it in with my finger, and I'll tell you why. I find that using an implement, be it a sponge or a brush or whatever, I can't be as precise as I would be with my finger. So I'm going to blend it in with this hand like I usually would, but then I'm going to show you what I can do to blend it in with this hand if you've got more severe cerebral palsy. So I would take one of these two fingers, just because I can be more accurate with like these two. And I will just pat. As you can see, like, I'm not being very neat, but because I'm using my finger and it's got a smaller surface area than a brush, it's keeping the product where I want it to. The other reason I like this, using your finger, is because if you use your finger, then you've got the freedom to be able to hold and control your implement with the other hand. So for example, I don't have very great control with this hand, so what I can do is I can use my finger and almost control it with this hand. Does that make any sense? And I just feel like I have more control over what I'm doing, and then I can blend and I can pat. I'm not used to doing it that way, so I'm just going to finish it off with this hand like I usually would. However, I just wanted to show you that as an alternative if you had slightly less hand function than me. Okay, so now that is blended in, I've also powdered my face, and I didn't show you that because I feel like I would have just been repeating what I've said before. Find a method that works for you and just kind of dab it over your face. You don't need to be too precise with it. But one thing I will say is that I always use compressed powders. I don't use loose powder pigment. I use ones that are like this, that are pressed, so they don't go everywhere. The amount of times I have ended up with a loose pigment powder over black jeans is just ridiculous. So that's the one thing I will say about powders, but other than that, you just need to find the technique of putting them on that works for you. Moving on to contour. I still don't know how to contour. I can't contour. I just can't. I don't know how people do it. I found a little trick recently that has made it so much easier. With cerebral palsy, I'm just not very delicate, and I find with contour, where I can't sometimes control how much I put onto my brush, it just ends up like a really stupidly thick line. What I found is using a slightly softer product, it means you don't have to worry about how much you get on the brush, but it still gives you a nice look. And I've been using a blush to do that. This is the NYX High Definition Blush in the shade Taupe, and it's such a really great contour colour. I'm going to show you the way I contour. This is probably not right, but this is how I do it, and I'm just showing you the way that I do it. I get a bit on my brush and I suck my cheeks in. So I'm a bit of a round-faced girl, so sometimes it's hard to find my cheekbones. But if I suck my cheeks in like this, you can see the outline of my cheekbone. So if I just do it again, where this bit goes in, you can see my cheekbone, and I go from here. So if you look here, you've got a little kind of triangle on your hairline, and what you need to do is you need to draw a line, like a curved line, almost going from this triangle here to this sucked in bit here. And always concentrate the product at the top of your cheekbone, never here, because then you're just going to look too severe, it's going to look muddy. So I've got my product on here, give it a blow, yeah, and then I suck my cheeks in, go from this triangle, and hope for the best. I'm just doing really light motions, up and down, up and down, up and down. And I don't really want to go any lower than probably just where the lobe of my ear starts, so just here, and no higher than that triangle. And the more pressure you put on, the more the brush is going to fan out. So if I just show you here, if I put pressure on like this, brush surface gets enormous, where if I'm just gently brushing, you're literally just getting the tips and you can stay within that line. And then at the very last, I just bring it into this hollow here. A little bit on my jaw. Now, if you've got a bigger face like me, you don't want to do it kind of on your jaw here. You want to go where you would naturally get a shadow. So because I have a double chin, I have two shadows. I have a shadow here and a shadow here. But we're going to go for this shadow here, and we're just going to take it in slightly and try and give myself that jaw that I actually want. I want it to look like it's my natural born beauty. It's not, but that's what I want it to look like. I think with contour, it's just about practice, and I don't contour every day. God, I couldn't be asked. But sometimes when I just want a little bit of something, it's great to do. Okay, so now that's done, and it's okay. I'm not massively proud of it, but it's on my face. I'm gonna do my bronzer, and I learned a little trick with bronzer that I didn't know before, but I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna share the knowledge. So I used to say, this is my bronzer, I used to literally go all over here like that, all over this area here, and I was like, yeah, just bronze the whole thing up, rah, 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 rah. And all that did was make me look a bit like an Oompa Loompa. What you've done with this contour is you've created this line. If you then put bronzer over the top of that, all you're going to do is distort this line and ruin the illusion of cheekbones that you've just created. So what you should do is you should always keep your bronzer above this line, but go a little bit higher than your contour. I'm going to see where this line is, and I'm going to go no lower, but I'm going to go a lot further into my cheek, and I'm going to almost do like a 3 shape. So I'm going to do like a C here, and then I'm going to skip that line by going right close, and then I'm going to go down my neck. And if you get confused where that line is, which I do sometimes, just suck your cheeks in while you do it. So go, and you can see that line you've created. Okay, now I'm bronzed up sufficiently. I'm going to go on to blush, and I'm going to do this super quickly because I feel like everything's getting a little bit repetitive. I was always told to smile and put it on the apples of your cheeks. I would sit there and do like that, right close. No, yes, put it on the apples of your cheeks, but start here, put it further out. Again, I never do that, because if you smile, your apples of your cheeks are here, and then when you don't smile and have a normal face, your apples drop down. So I actually suck my cheeks in. Again, I just want skinny cheeks, that's what it is. I go from probably the centre of my eye up a little bit, so. And I find it just opens up my face a little bit more. Bloody hell, that was difficult to open. So, next, highlight. I love highlight so much. So, I'm going to take my highlight brush. I have this one, which everybody loves because it's like a little moment. The Morphe 510, because I want a blinding highlight. With highlight, it's all about keeping those shapes you've created. Highlight the places where light naturally hits your face. So, that tends to be here, like the highs of your cheekbones, the tip of your nose, your cupid's bow, and your forehead. Now, I know a lot of people highlight here. I don't like to do that because it makes my forehead look massive. I like to highlight a bit above my brow. It just makes me look less like a potato. So I'm just going to get a little bit on my brush. That was a lot. And again, I'm just going to follow those lines that I've created. So I'm going to do it on the top of my, oh my shit. I don't know how well it's showing up, but my god, this is blinding. Right, now time for my eyes, so I'm gonna zoom you in. Hi, this is intense. How you doing? I'm gonna show you the simplest way that I know how to do eye makeup, and it's literally using 2 things. A liquid lipstick. You need to make sure they're eye safe. This is so important. I'm using the Jeffree Star Velour liquid lipsticks, and all of his eye safe. If you're gonna use them as eyeliner, eyeshadow, whatever, you need to make sure they're eye safe, and these 100% are. But I find they just stay all friggin' day, and I don't have the hand function all the time to be like doing all this fancy intricate stuff. So if I can get away with using 2 products that stay all day, I'm thinking gonna do it. So I'm gonna take this really disgusting, and I mean really disgusting, Morphe, what are you? Your Morphe 441 brush, which is this kind of fluffy brush. I'm gonna run it over my lid. And you don't have to be neat with this at all. Like, that's not neat. but it will be, hopefully. And then you just really roughly blend it out. It's gonna look horrific for like the first couple of minutes, but trust me, it does look like I've been punched in the eye right now. I know, but it won't in a minute. And then once that's all blended really badly, you get a big fluffy clean brush, Morphe 504, and you blend that out so it doesn't look as harsh. There's that blended, I hope. And I just do the same the other side. I'm actually going to do it with my right hand so you can see that this can be done if you've got a little less motor function than me. So again, hold your wrist if you need to, because that will guide you. Okay, so that's that. Again, it's not completely blended out. You can be a lot more heavy-handed with these, because if you were pushing that hard as I am like this with a powder, oh my god, it would go everywhere. So now that's on as my base. I'm going to go in with the second colour, and I'm going to take my Morphe my Morphe 3.5 palette, and I'm also going to take my Morphe M330 crease brush, and I'm going to go into like a grey toned colour. I'm literally going to go in my crease. Now if you don't know what your crease is, push your finger into it. It's that bit between your eyeball and your eye socket. So I'm going to run this through. Now, the shadow has mixed in a little bit, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the liquid lipstick again, and I'm just going to put it along my lash line. And then all I'm going to do is pat it in with my finger, because I don't want to disperse the product too much. Now, you can put glitter on, you can do, I don't know, another colour onto the lid, but I want to leave it like this today because this is what I would usually do of a normal day. I can't do eyeliner very well at all, but I'm going to show you how I do it. I use the NYX Epic Ink Liner, and I can only use one hand. So first of all, I follow the corner of my eye up. I do the flick first and then go down. I find that a lot easier. So I go from the corner here and I go up. That's roughly where I want my flick. Then from the point of that flick, I come down and join it to the bottom of my lash line. So that took forever. I just had to stop the camera and zoom out slightly because I was struggling with that, and this eyeliner has gone a lot thicker than I usually would go for, but I've got a nice little wing going on. So as you can see, it doesn't always go to plan, and that was very, 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 very stressful. But I'm going to try and show you on this eye what I did a bit better. I'll go from the corner of my eye up, and then from the corner of that flick down, and then along the lash line. Makeup doesn't always go perfect. I hate all these Instagram posts where makeup's like on fleek and perfect. Makeup isn't like that a lot of the time. So I'm going to keep it like that. I'm going to keep it real with you guys. So I'm going to do mascara, and I use the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. And I never curl my lashes because I'm too uncoordinated. I will end up punching myself in the eyeball. One thing I don't use is false lashes. I don't know how people put them on. Like, I really don't. Let me know in the comments below because I would love to know. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do nicely. Thanks. Now, my brows. I don't actually need to do my brows today because I have tinted them. If you do want to see how I would fill in my brows, then let me know because, you know, I don't mind. I would love to do more of these sort of videos, more of these kind of serious makeup videos. But today I just don't think there's any point. The last thing with my eyes that I do is I highlight the corner slightly. I'm going to get on the brush and then I'm going to go into the corner here. Like that. Oh, look how blinding that is. Okay, Now all that's left to do is lipstick. And the lipstick I am going to be using is the Jeffree Star liquid lipstick in the shade, this looks like Deceased, I promise you it's not. This is the shade Delicious, and this is from his new family collection. Again, there's no kind of easy way of putting lipstick on, it's just about practice. But I like to draw lines first, so I draw a line here to get the centre of my bottom lips, and a line here to get the centre of my top lips, and then I kind of work into them. So I do a little M at the top first, and then I go from the corner and connect it. I sometimes overdraw and tell myself I meant to, but I totally didn't. Ooh, I feel vampy. So I've just brought you a little bit closer so I can show you my final little touch, which is the NYX setting spray. This is the matte finish one, and this just holds everything in really nicely. So I'm gonna give myself a spritz. And that, beautiful human beings, is my finished everyday autumn purple look. So this is what it looks like in my natural room light. I like this. I'm still getting used to the lip colour because it's quite dark and I don't know how I feel about it. But I don't mind this. I don't know how to do makeup tutorials. I'm not a makeup artist. I don't do it. It's not what I do. So I'm sorry if it was shit. If you haven't already and you would like to, then why not subscribe, because I do beauty sort of videos and random sort of videos twice a week. And also I've got a giveaway coming up on my channel to win a beauty item. Check back in my last video to find out more about that. I will post that down below. And as always, you can follow me on all the social media goodness, so go find that down below, or at the end of this video I believe it's going to be. And as always, thank you so much for watching. It really does mean the absolute world. Remember, I have been me, so please always be you, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye!